Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is May 1st. The Mexico series has come and gone. The Pirates are in first and the Yankees are in last. Who would have predicted that? Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today? It is May. The first month of baseball is officially behind us, and we've got another weekend of baseball to go over, including a very successful Mexico series. That was a lot of fun watching those games. We'll be going over all of that in our series recap. But before that, I just want to take a moment to please support me if you guys can. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Follow if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Mid_of the order is the Twitter and the Instagram. Links to everything down low in the description if you're on YouTube. We're going to dive right on into our series recap, so get ready for what was a crazy weekend of baseball. A lot of streaks were broken and a lot of home runs were hit, especially in Mexico, so let's dive on in. Starting it off up north, we've got the Mariners and the Blue Jays, and it's the big catchers going deep in Toronto as Cal Raleigh and Alejandro Kirk go deep off of the aces, but a Chapman double and a Springer single helps the Jays beat the Mariners 3-2 in the opener. Game 2, we've got a pitcher's duel as Kevin Gausman is dealing versus Easton McGee, who is making his second ever appearance in the majors, his first ever start. Not only that, but he took a no-hitter into the 7th inning before Matt Chapman broke it with a double. But we need a run in this game. It's still 0-0. We head into extras. The Jays have the bases loaded, no outs, and it's Dalton Varsho who sends the ball to right field. He will walk it off a base hit there. Jays win it. They extend their winning streak to 6. They win it 1-0. And it's a different game here in Game 3. Some runs are actually being scored here. Grand slam, Taylor Trammell, who was recently called up, he gets it started 4-0 Mariners in the first inning there. Jays, they score 8 straight after that. A no-doubter from Bo Bichette in the middle of that. But the Mariners were not finished. Oscar Hernandez, he homers in his return to Toronto. And then it's the big dumper. Cal Raleigh, he hits a home run to help Seattle tie the game and send us into extras again before it's Cal Raleigh again who homers his third of the series. That will help Seattle beat Toronto and avoid the sweep. They take it 10-8. Moving on, we've got the Guardians and the Red Sox. It is Shane Bieber. He goes 7 innings, allows only 2 runs as the Guardians offense goes to work in Boston. They take the opener 5-2. Game 2, we've got Devers getting things started with a 3-run home run, but the Guardians don't quit. Homers from Josh Bell and Andres Jimenez. Next thing you know, it's 6-5 Boston heading into the 9th. Jose Ramirez with the base hit that will tie the game. We're going to need extras in this one, and it's Alex Verdugo for Boston who walks it off with a single. Boston takes the game 8-7 there. Rubber match here. We've got a little bit of vintage Chris Sale performance. He goes 6 1/3 innings, only 1 run as Boston gets homers from Connor Wong and Alex Verdugo as they take the final game and the series. They win it 7-1. Rays and White Sox. Can things get better for the White Sox? The Rays go to town on them in the first game with home runs from Brandon Lau, Yanni Diaz, and Luke Raley as they score in 6 of the 9 innings. They crush them 14-5. Game 2, we've got homers from Andrew Vaughn and Jake Berger for the White Sox to give them the lead, but Margot ties it with a base hit. Jumping to the 9th inning, it's Tampa who takes the lead with a home run from Isaac Paredes. That would hold the Sox. The Rays hold the Sox in the bottom of the 9th. The White Sox continue their skid. They lose again 3-2 Tampa. Moving on, we've got the third game in the set. White Sox are up 3-0 entering the 7th inning. Could this be the end of the losing streak? No. Dear God, no. Tampa unloads 10 runs in the inning, starting with a Wander Franco home run and ending with a back-to-back shots by Randy Arozarena and Josh Lowe. And how about 2 more home runs after that slaughter? Francisco Mejia in the 8th and Randy again in the 9th inning. Tampa kills them and extends the White Sox losing streak to double digits with 10 as they take it 12-3. And in the final game of the set, Taylor Walls and Luke Raley go back-to-back in the 4th. Yasmani goes deep for the lead for Chicago. They're up 4-2 heading into the 8th, but oh no, not again. Here comes Tampa, back-to-back home runs from Luke Raley and Christian Betancourt. Heading into the bottom of the 9th, the Sox are down 9-5. A double and a sac fly makes it 9-7, but there's 2 outs. Oh no, here we go. But hold on, back-to-back singles have tied the game at 9. And oh my, Andrew Vaughn, a 3-run walk-off home run. The streak ends at 10. The White Sox win a game for the first time since April 18th. In a dramatic comeback fashion, they take the final game 12-9. Baltimore and Detroit, the Tigers lead this one late, but Baltimore will score 5 runs in the 7th, capped off by a 2-run home run by Anthony Santander. To complete the comeback, they take the first game 7-4. Rain on Friday means doubleheader on Saturday, and the Tigers are up 6-1 in the 8th inning when Jorge Mateo hits a 3-run shot to make it 6-4, but the Tigers were not going to let them steal another game for them. Zach Short goes deep for an insurance run. The Tigers take it 7-4. Second game of the doubleheader, third of the series. Baltimore scores 4 runs in the 2nd inning and add 2 more on a homer by Ryan McKenna in the 6th inning. Tigers would score 4 in the 6th as well, but with a 3-run shot from Tyler Nevin. But all they would get. Baltimore takes the game. They win it 6-4. And in the final game, the Orioles score 1 run in 4 innings straight. Detroit makes things interesting when Jake Rogers goes deep and then a Javi Baez double. But a homer for Jorge Mateo gives Baltimore that last push insurance run that they need to win the game and the series. They take 3 of the 4 from the Tigers. They take the last game 5-3. Moving on, we've got the Royals and the Twins. Byron Buxton and Carlos Correa, they go back-to-back in the 4th inning to score 4 runs, as that would help the Twins take down the Royals in the first game 7-1 there. Game 2, Max Kepler, he gets things started, and with a home run in the first inning. Jorge Polanco and Jose Miranda, they homer later in that game. So by the time Salvador Perez hits his home run, it's a little too late for Kansas City. The Twins would have too large of a lead, and even though the Royals would not quit scoring as they get 3 more, the Twins hold on. They take the game 8-6. Game 3, it's Byron Buxton who goes deep in the 7th to give the Twins the lead, but Salvador Perez singles in 1 to tie it in the 8th. The Royals would score 1 in the 9th on a wild pitch. They'll take the 3rd game and win it 3-2. And in the last game, it's Buxton again for the 3rd time in the series, a 3-run shot. That starts off a 7-run inning in the 4th inning. That leads to the Twins win. They take it 3 of 4 games in the series. They'll beat the Royals last game 8-4. Yankees and Rangers, it's early home runs by DJ LeMahieu and Gleyber Torres. That helps the Yankees, but the main concern is for Judge, who leaves the game after sliding into 3rd awkwardly. Jose Trevino, he homers late for insurance. The Yankees take the opener 4-2. In Game 2, it's DeGrom who leaves in the 4th inning with an injury, but the Rangers already have a nice lead with the help from a Robbie Grossman home run, making it 5-0. The Yankees would score 2, but that's all they would get. The Rangers take that one 5-2. Game 3, only runs in this one come from an Ezekiel Duran 2-run shot. Nathan Eovaldi shuts down the Yankees offense, a complete game shutout Rangers take that one 2-0. And in the final game, things get started for the Rangers in the first. A grand slam by Josh Jung, and that lead would only grow from there. Nathaniel Lau, Adolis Garcia, they go back-to-back in the fifth. Jonah Heim also homers in the inning. They would score 6 runs in the next inning as the Rangers dominate the Yankees. They win all 3 games without Judge in the lineup. They take the series 3-1. They win the last game 15-2. Reds and Athletics. Reds are piling it on the A's, scoring in 5 of the 9 innings with a home run from Jake Fraley. Brent Rooker continues to tear the baseball as he gets his 8th home run of the year. But the Reds hold on and win it 11-7. Game 2, it's Luke Maile who gets the Reds on the board with his first home run of the year. And it's Jake Fraley who will double in 2 in the 9th inning to give the Reds the lead that they would hold on to as they take it 3-2 there. Final game, Jesus Aguilar and Brent Rooker again. They homer for the A's. And even with Nick Senzel going deep for the Reds, the A's hold on. They take the last game, avoid the sweep, win it 5-4. Phillies and Astros. It's the World Series rematch from last year, and it really feels like it with home runs from Jeremy Pena and Kyle Schwarber, who were both the main parts to those postseason runs last year. Phillies get the last laugh though in game 1 as Nola deals for 8 innings, the only run being that Pena home run. The Phillies win the first game 3-1. Game 2, it's Castellanos going deep for the Phillies as they tack on 5 more runs after that. The only Astro run comes from another home run from Jeremy Pena. The Phillies take it 6-1. And in the final game is JT Realmuto and Cody Clemens who homer for the Phillies. For Cody Clemens, it's his 2nd of the series. Astros get the last laugh though as Kyle Tucker singles in 2 to give the Astros the lead. That will keep them from being swept on Sunday Night Baseball. They take it 4-3. Pirates and Nats, and again a rain delay on Friday means a doubleheader on Saturday, and it starts with Connor Joe. He hits a home run, and later on Miguel Andujar goes deep for his first after getting recalled a few days ago. The Pirates take the opener 6-3, and ahoy mateys, the Pirates find themselves some buried treasure. What's inside? How about 16 runs, including another home run from Miguel Andujar and a grand slam from Jack Sawinski. And hey, how about Drew Maggi? First MLB hit, first MLB RBI to help out. And Dominic Smith for the Nationals. He hits his first home run in a very, very long time. How long? Javier Baez was a Cub, Albert Pujols was a Dodger, and Adley Rutschman was in Double-A. So yeah, a very long time for Dominic Smith. The Pirates win it 16-1. And in the final game, Josiah Gray, another very nice start, going 6 innings, striking out 6 and only 1 run as he's starting to find his stride as a major leaguer. That will help the Nats avoid the sweep, but they take the final game 7-2. Cubs and Marlins, and then jumping into the 9th inning in this one, it's tied at 2, and it's Gene Segura who gets the base hit up the middle for the walk-off. The Marlins take the opener 3-2. In game 2, it's Patrick Wisdom and Cody Bellinger who homer for the Cubs, but it wouldn't be enough to stop the Marlins offense. They score 5 runs in the first inning and never look back. Cubs would make it close at the end. Marlins win it 7-6. And in the final game, it's Cody Bellinger, again his 7th home run of the year. Marlins would take the lead in the 8th on a sac fly, and AJ Puck locks down the save. The Marlins, they sweep the Cubs and take it 4-3. Angels and Brewers. Willie Adames, he goes deep. Angels tie the game, but Rowdy Tellez with the single in the 8th inning give the Brewers the lead. Devin Williams with the save. They take it 2-1 there. And in game 2, it's another classic Angels game. Mike Trout, he hits 2 home runs. Shohei Ohtani, he goes 3 for 5, and the Brewers end up winning 7-5. Oh, Angels. Oh, dear God. At least they win the last game thanks to homers from Jake Lamb and Shohei Ohtani. They avoid the sweep. They win the final game 3-0. Cardinals and Dodgers. Mookie Betts lead off home run in game 1 there. Miguel Vargas, he goes deep later on, and some doubles from Muncy and Hayward helped the Dodgers beat the Cardinals in the first game 7-3. Kershaw and Montgomery in a pitcher's duel, but Kershaw wins the battle as the only run in this one was from an Austin Barnes single. The Dodgers take that game 1-0. Final games tied at 2 in the fourth inning. Chris Taylor doubles to give the Dodgers the lead. They would score 3 more runs after that, and the Cardinals, who haven't won a series since the Rockies back on April 10th to the 12th, lose another one. The Dodgers take it 6-3. They sweep the Cardinals there. Diamondbacks and Rockies. Marte Parte starts the D-backs offense, a home run in the third inning, and they'll follow that with 8 more runs. The D-backs take the opener 9-1 there. Second game, the D-backs score 6 runs in the second inning, but it's the concern for Corbin Carroll as he leaves the game after trying to make a catch and crashing into the wall in right. Hopefully he will be okay. The Diamondbacks do take that game as well, 11-4. Last game here, Evan Longoria, he homers for the D-backs, but the Rockies score 4 runs in the third and 4 more in the sixth with a bomb from CJ Cron. They take the final game and avoid the sweep 12-4. Giants and Padres. Let's just skip the first game because it's obviously going to be the game of the weekend. The Padres won that one. And in the second game of the Mexico series, it's the Giants with home runs starting early from Lamont Wade Jr., JD Davis, and Mitch Haniger. Austin Nola, he homers for the Padres as they score 3 in the fifth and 3 in the eighth to take the lead and sweep the Giants in the 2-game set in Mexico. They win the second game 6-4. As some of you might have noticed, the Braves and the Mets series I did not mention. That's because 2 of their games was rained out. They're both being played today on Monday. So what I am going to do is I'm going to talk about those 3 games on our Friday episode. So the Braves and Mets series that is finishing today will be talked about Friday. It'll be the first series that we go over before starting the week set there. But jumping into our game of the weekend, it is the Giants, it's the Padres, it's in Mexico. We're talking about what a crazy game this was. The altitude in this stadium is over 7,000, which is crazy to think about. I feel bad for the pitchers in this series. Let's jump to the top of the third. It's already 3-0 San Diego, and it's Brandon Crawford. He barely hits a ball foul, just missed a home run by maybe inches, but that's okay. Very next pitch, he crushes his 4th of the year. That made it 3-1 San Diego. The first home run in this game, but it wouldn't be long before the second one because Lamont Wade Jr. homers a batter or 2 afterwards. It is now 3-2 Padres. Bottom of the third, Nelson Cruz, he goes deep. One of the oldest players to hit a home run. He's just doing crazy things. He's 42 and he's still raking. Moving on, top 4th, it's Mitch Haniger. He goes deep. Estrada doubles. All of a sudden, it's 8-5 Giants. They've taken the lead. Juan Soto and Xander Bogaerts, they go back-to-back in the bottom of the 4th, and it is now 8-7 Padres. Next inning, it's Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado who go back-to-back, and the Padres have the lead. The first time this season that Juan Soto, Xander Bogaerts, Fernando Tatis Jr., and Manny Machado have all homered in the same game. The Padres Big Four doing the job there. Blake Sabol, he hits a 2-run shot in the 7th. That ties the game 10-10. David Villar, next hitter, he homers his 4th of the year. It is now 11-10. Giants have the lead. Before in the bottom of the 7th, Manny Machado again, his 2nd of the game. A 2-run shot makes it 12-11 Padres. And in the bottom of the 8th, they pile it on. Trent Grisham, a double. Nelson Cruz, a base hit. That would make it 16-11. Your final in this one. What a day in Mexico. A total of 27 runs. Absolutely insane. That is your game of the weekend. Yeah, that game was definitely something else. 27 total runs on 30 hits, 11 home runs, 4 instances of back-to-back home runs. Just a lot of fun. All the players, Giants and Padres having a good time. Both the wins after the Padres, they celebrated with a piñata in the dugout. So just a lot of good fun there. Nelson Cruz, 42 years, 302 days old, is the second oldest player to have a 5-hit game. He also tripled in the series, so it's crazy there. But yeah, let's just dive into some baseball news. We got a lot of things to kind of just go over quickly, some fun facts that I want to mention here. Starting off with the Pirates, they're the first team in the NL to 20 wins. As everyone predicted. What they're doing is pretty funny. It's just no one predicted it, so it's great to see. We're going to talk about Bryce Harper here. I was going to save this for the injury update, but since I just got a notification from Twitter now, Bryce Harper was supposed to be at an appointment today to see if he's cleared to play baseball. That will determine if he's eligible to come back as soon as tomorrow. And as I'm just getting updated now, he has cleared that. He is eligible to come back tomorrow. So we should be seeing Bryce Harper in the Phillies lineup for tomorrow, which is very exciting, not only for Phillies fans, but for baseball in general. He's just one of the greats that I love to watch in our game currently. So really excited to have Harper back in the big leagues. He should be making his debut this year tomorrow. The Pirates, they're first in the NL Central, and the Yankees are last in the AL East. I just wanted to say that again. I said at the beginning, and I just want to keep reiterating it to myself because I find it crazy. Obviously not, the Yankees aren't last as like a whole, but still last in the division. No one would have predicted that the Pirates would be first in theirs and the Yankees last in theirs. It's just something crazy to mention. Going back to the Mexico series to talk about really quickly, we found out the Astros and the Rockies will take place in the Mexico series next year. So that should be a lot of fun for those hitters. Astros, very good team. Rockies, they're developing, they're rebuilding. So it'll be fun to see those teams in Mexico. Xander Bogaerts, little fun fact here, he becomes the first ever player to homer in 5 different countries, 4 as a major leaguer and then 1 as a World Baseball Classic. He has homered in America, Canada, London when he was with Boston, him and the Red Sox and the Yankees in the London series a few years ago. Most recently in Mexico over the weekend. But he also homered in Taiwan as a member of the World Baseball Classic that just passed when he was with the Netherlands. So 4 countries as a major leaguer, which is still a record, and then add on to that 5 different countries if you count Taiwan. So very cool for Xander Bogaerts to be on that list. The Jays had a winning streak of 6 that got ended by the Mariners, but more importantly, the White Sox losing streak finally got ended with a crazy comeback win. Good for the White Sox. They needed something to celebrate with them. It's been a very rocky start to the season for the White Sox. Can they turn things around? Most likely, yes. I do have a little bit of faith in the White Sox. That might sound crazy. Obviously, Tim Anderson is a big spark in that lineup. He's a big reason. He's been out past week and a half. So, part of the reason why the White Sox haven't been playing full potential, they don't have their primary shortstop in the lineup there. I think the White Sox can still, get back on track. They're going to need a lot to go right because a lot has gone wrong for them recently. But, to come back against the Rays, one of the best team in the American League, to end your hitting streak where you're losing streak. Jesus. It's a pretty important step for the White Sox. They needed to take it. They avoid the 3rd straight sweep in a row for them. They're taking on the Twins, so, the top dogs in their division, so they gotta try to find a way to win a series now. Now they've won a game. So White Sox, good for you, but we got to see more. Keep it going. That's kind of your baseball news for the week. Nothing too crazy there. Moving along, we've got our injury updates for you here. German Marquez of the Colorado Rockies, he is on the IL. He will miss about 6 weeks with right elbow inflammation there. JD Martinez for your Dodgers, he's on the IL with a lower back tightness. Kenta Maeda with the Twins, right tricep strain. He'll find his way on the IL. It's been a rough patch for Maeda ever since coming back from Tommy John. He really hasn't been himself, so it sucks to see. Christian Pache, the Phillies said he'll going on the IL with a torn meniscus in his right knee. A young, fast guy, so it's tough to see that. I mentioned Aaron Judge, who hasn't played since Thursday. He has a mild strain at the top of his hip. We're still waiting to see what the Yankees end up doing, if he will find his way on the IL, or if he just got to take a few more days off. He hasn't played in the last 3 games against the Rangers, so we'll see what the Yankees do there. Jacob deGrom, we mentioned he left his start. It originally was forearm tightness, but he's been placed on the IL with inflammation in his right elbow there. So, it sucks because he is the best pitcher when healthy. It's just recently he hasn't been healthy, and it sucks because, I love watching Jacob deGrom pitch. So hopefully he's better really soon. Tyler Mahle, he's been shut down for 4 weeks with a flexor pronator strain. I definitely butchered that, but sorry, I'm not a paramedic. He also has a posterior impingement, so those 2 injuries there will keep him down for 4 weeks. Mike Yastrzemski, he suffered a left hamstring strain during one of the games in Mexico. He will undergo an MRI today, later on, to determine if he will need to be on the IL or not. Same thing with Jose Urquidy. He left his start Astros vs. Phillies on Sunday with soreness in his right shoulder. He's also undergoing MRI to determine if he will need any time on the IL or not. Julio and Corbin Carroll, Julio Rodriguez, he left one of the games against the Blue Jays on Saturday, and obviously we talked about Corbin Carroll crashing into the wall on Saturday, leaving the game there. Both teams haven't really mentioned much of them. They both did not play on Sunday, so we're not sure if either of them will head to the IL or not, nor really what's wrong with them. But things to mention, both those guys are on my fantasy teams, so hopefully they're both healthy. And then we just mentioned Bryce Harper. He will be back most likely tomorrow, which is extremely exciting. I got to mention Bryce Harper in a series recap for once. I bet you he goes deep in his first game back. Just mention. He'll probably DH, but we'll see that. But there is your injury updates. Let's go over our outstanding performances of the weekend. We'll start with the pitchers duel that was Kevin Gausman versus Easton McGee. Kevin Gausman, 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, no runs, a walk, and 13 strikeouts, a career high for him. And then Easton McGee, in his first ever MLB start, goes 6 2/3, no hit innings. He did allow a hit to Chapman, a double, and then was pulled right after that hit. So 6 2/3 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, only 2 strikeouts, but still very impressive for his first career MLB start. Aaron Nola, 8 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, no walks, and 6 Ks versus the Astros. And Clayton Kershaw, he still does it. 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 9 strikeouts there. Lastly, of course, the complete game shutout for Nathan Eovaldi versus the Yankees. 9 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 8 Ks. There are your outstanding performances. We've got our standings check now. Looking at the AL East, the Yankees are in last place, tied with Boston. They're 15 14, 8 games behind the Rays, who are in first, They're 23-6 there. Baltimore at 19-9, and the Jays in third, 18-10. Just a game behind them there. In your AL Central, the Twins are at the top of the boards there, 17-12, with the Guardians on their tail, 3.5 games behind them at 13-15 there. Tigers 10-17. White Sox and Royals are in the dump, 8-21 and 7-22 there. There are two teams that have yet to win 10 games. In the AL West, it's still the Rangers over the Astros. Surprise, surprise. 17-11 Rangers. Who would have saw that one coming? Astros are at 15-3. Angels 15-14. Excuse me, did I say 15-3? 15-13 are the Astros. The Mariners, they're still below 500. They have had a slow start to the season. They're 12-16. And the A's are whopping in at 6-23. With a run differential of negative 117. I always like looking at that. It's pretty sad. Flip the script to the NL side. The Braves are at the top there at 18-9. They're 3 games above the Mets and the Marlins. Mets are 15-12. Marlins are 16-13. Of course, the Braves and the Mets are currently playing today, so that could definitely elevate Miami into second place by the end of today. Phillies, they just get above 500. Finally, they're 15-14. And the Nationals, they just won their 10th game. They're 10-17 at the bottom there. NL Central is your most crazy division. Your Pirates, 20-9, the best team in the NL. Brewers, a game and a half below them at 18-10. Cubs 14-13, Reds 12-16. The Reds are in 4th place. That's crazy because the Cardinals, the team that everybody thought would be taking this division by storm, is last with 10-19. You know, I would say they're the equivalent to the White Sox. You know, not as bad, but wow, the Cardinals need to step it up because this should be their division, like by all means. Pirates, 1st place. That's crazy. And the Diamondbacks, they're still doing things in the NL West. They're 16-13, tied with the Dodgers at 16-13. So, Diamondbacks, your Cinderella times in 1st place might be up for a little bit, but prove us wrong. Stay up there. Padres a game behind them at 15-14. Giants are at 11-16, and the Rockies are at 9-20. There. The Rockies, the A's, the Royals, and the White Sox are the 4 teams who have yet to win 10 games. Tampa Bay, Baltimore, Atlanta, and Pirates are your 4 teams who have yet to lose 10 games. Baltimore and Pirates, that is crazy to me. This year has been wild, and we're only a month into it. Let's go over our upcoming series ahead of us for the week. First off, we've got the Braves and the Mets. They played 1 game Friday, and they're playing 2 today on Monday. We'll talk about them on Friday. But for the actual series upcoming, Blue Jays and the Red Sox, they start 4 games together in Boston there. The Guardians, they're off to play the Yankees in an ALDS rematch from last year. The Pirates and the Rays, the 2 best teams in baseball, the best in the AL and the best in the NL. Pirates and Rays, that should be a fun series there. Baltimore's off to Kansas City to take on the Royals. We mentioned the Twins and the White Sox will play some games there. White Sox, you got to win that series. The Mets are in Detroit taking on the Tigers, while the Mariners get a nice, easy week against the A's. They definitely got to sweep them there and get back to some, superiority. They were supposed to be a dominant team this year, so they got to sweep the A's there. Giants, they're off to Houston taking on the Astros, and the D-backs are also off to Texas, but they're taking on the Rangers, so a little bit of NL West in the Texas. Braves, they're in Miami taking on the Marlins. Cubs versus the Nationals. Angels and the Cardinals. That's kind of important for those 2 teams, both kind of struggling-ish. Angels trying to prove that they can win games with Mike Trout and Shohei. Cardinals trying to prove that they can win games. The Reds, they're taking on the Padres, coming back from Mexico. Brewers, they're in Colorado taking on the Rockies. And your last year's NL champs, the Phillies, they'll take on the Dodgers with the addition of Bryce Harper. That will do it for our episode today. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. I know it's a little bit later. Should be going up a little bit later than usual. But I appreciate all the support that I've been getting. But yeah, we're going to continue this. Friday, we'll have another week of baseball to go over. We'll also be able to go over our players of the month. I don't know what I'm going to do yet for, player of the month kind of vibes. But I will definitely be going over the best players for the month of April. We'll see what I can come up with and figure that out there. So that will be a little fun addition to Friday's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. And I will see you guys all on Friday for another series recap and our player of the month players. Thank you guys. Take it easy.